It was a cold, windy day on the Starlowy Railway. Fall was in full blast, and sweaters quickly became a common sight. At night, a thick fog would often roll in, covering the hills with poor visibility. The engines didn't like the fog at night. It created a very spooky atmosphere. One night, it was particularly bad up in the hills. Mr. Percival thought it was too dangerous for the trains to run. The engines were all stuck in their sheds. Yeah, I've been through fog worse than this. There's no need to close the railway. Yes, well, fog during the day is very different from fog at night, though. Even with a headlamp, it's very dangerous to go down the line when you can't see 2 feet in front of you. Well, we can't just sit here and do nothing. I know. How about a story? Yes, I know a lot of stories from Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe. I meant a scary story. You know, like a ghost story. Like when I saw Proteus? No, that's not scary. We need one that has lots of blood. That won't scare anyone. That will make us sick. Well, I don't really have any good scary stories. Neither do I. I've got one. The engines all glared at Duncan. You? It's not that stupid old incident at the old iron bridge, is it? No, it's something completely different. Since when have you heard a decent ghost story? Exactly. You probably get scared of it yourself. Oh, do be quiet. I would actually like to hear it, just to see how it is. Let's just listen, shall we? Very well then. Let's see how long we can get through without falling asleep. Quiet. If no one else could find a good story, I guess you better take it away, Duncan. Right. Long ago, there was an engine. I don't know what his name was, or what he looked like, but there was something different about him. They say he never smiled, always had a haunting look on his face. He worked at the slate quarries because they say his behavior was too dangerous for the passengers. Who is this engine? I told you, I don't know what his name is, nor what he looked like. But what I do know is that his eyes were a glowing red. They say this engine was disturbingly unusual. He would purposefully push trucks over a cliff and run over animals that strayed onto the line. The manager was very distraught by his actions and decided to put him in the shed, never to be let out again. Everyone knew there was something wrong with this engine. Some say that he was created by none other than the devil himself. There he sat in the shed, eyeing the others as they went about doing their work. His eyes were apparently very disturbing and haunting, striking fear at anyone who he looked at. Then, one night, it happened. He killed himself? No! No one knows exactly what caused it, but there was a fire in the shed. The fire crew were called, but it was too late. The shed and the engine were already engulfed. In the flames, they couldn't see him anymore. But what they did see were two blazing, angry eyes. The engine burnt to the ground. His boiler was melted. But whether he survived or not is debatable. Oh yes, he was destroyed, but only his physical state. There are some who say the engine's spirit is in the mist below, and then he was suddenly swept off the bridge and plunged into the swamps below. When the workmen searched the water, they could not find him. He was never found again. So just remember, wherever you are, someone may always be watching you. The other engines were still as ice. They gazed at Duncan, silent and shivering. Ooh, well, that was actually quite a ghost story. Indeed, quite unexpected. Yes, but wait. You got that engine who fell off a bridge from me. it's a fake story. It's a ghost story. It could be true or false. You decide. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to sleep. And he did. And very easily, as all the other engines didn't. They were curious and scared from the story, especially Bertram, who rarely changed his smile. The next day, the fog wasn't as bad, and the train ran like normal. The engines all worked hard, but they kept thinking about Duncan's story. What's that? Who's there? But it was only a light tower. There's no evil eyes. They don't exist. Later, Duncan and Sir Handel were at the Renea station when Mr. Percival came with bad news. The road bridge at Crossnai-Curin has collapsed and is blocking the line. There's quite a lot of damage, so it will take until tomorrow morning to clear it. I'm sorry, but in other words, you'll have to spend the night here. Oh, you've got to be joking! Fiddlesticks! Oh, well, at least we have a shed. Yes, you do have a shed. Consider yourself lucky. Others are stuck at Lakeside or the quarry. The facilities there are not as luxurious. Well, I guess we're stuck. And they were. That evening, the fog came back, thicker than ever. Duncan was trying to sleep, but Sir Handel was nervous. The eyes aren't real, are they? Yeah, that's for you to decide, my dear boy. But shut up! I'm trying to sleep. There's no eyes. It's only a story. Or is it? Yes. The devil engine is a-comin'. His eyes will. Who was that? What? I've never heard that whistle before. Whistle? What whistle? Didn't you hear it? I didn't hear any whistle, Duncan. Where are you going? sunk and puffed out into the foggy abyss to see what was going on. What happened next? No one knows to this day. No.
One winter evening, Henry's driver said, "We'll be out early tomorrow. We've got to take the flying kipper." "Don't tell Gordon, but I think if we pull the kipper nicely, the Fat Controller will let us pull the express. The special code they gave you is working well." "Hurrah!" cried Henry. "That will be lovely." All kinds of ships use the harbor at the big station by the sea. There are passenger ships, cargo ships, and fishing boats also come here. They unload their fish on the quay. Some of it goes to shops in the town, and the rest in a special train to other places far away. This is the train the railwaymen call the Flying Kipper. Henry was ready at 5 o'clock. There was snow and frost. Men hustled and shouted, loading the vans with crates of fish. The last door banged. The guard showed his green lamp. The Flying Kipper was ready to go. Come on, don't be silly, puffed Henry to the bands. The band shuddered and groaned. Trough, trick, all right. that is better, puffed Henry. Clouds of smoke and steam poured from his funnel into the cold air, and the fire's light shone brightly. Hurry, 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 panted Henry. They were going well. The light grew better. Signal light shone green as they passed. Then a yellow signal appeared ahead. His driver prepared to stop, but the home signal was down. All clear, Henry. Away we go. They couldn't know the points from the main line to a siding were frozen, and the home signal should have been set at danger, but snow had forced it down. A goods train was waiting in the siding to let the flying kipper pass, and the driver and fireman were drinking cocoa in the brake van. "The kipper is due," said the guard. "Who cares?" said the fireman. "This is good cocoa." The driver got up. "Come on, fireman, back to our engine. They got out just in time. Henry's driver and fireman had jumped clear before the crash, but Henry lay dazed and surprised. The fat controller came to see him. "The signal was down, sir," said Henry. "Cheer up, Henry, it wasn't your fault. Ice and snow caused the accident. I'm sending you to Crewe, a fine place for sick engines. They'll give you a new shape and a larger firebox. You'll feel a different engine and won't need special coal anymore. Won't that be nice?" "Yes, sir," said Henry doubtfully. Henry liked being at Crewe, but was glad to come home. crowd of people waited to see him arrive in his new shape. He looked so splendid and strong that they gave him 3 cheers. Peep, peep, he whistled. Thank you very much. I am sorry to say that a lot of little children are often late for school because they wait to see Henry go by. They often see him pulling the express. He does it so well that Gordon is jealous. But that's another story.
Gordon was feeling grumpy. This was making James cross. Why are you complaining all the time? Because I'm a big blue engine and I know everything. I shall complain whenever I want. You're just a small red engine with ideas above your station. I can't see any, said Percy. Where are they? Any what? Ideas above the station. The sky's empty. Like your smoke box, Percy, laughed James. But Gordon was still grumpy. One day I'll show you just what a big engine could really do. So what can a big engine really do? Not speak to silly little green engines for a start, replied Gordon. Then he puffed away. Later that day, Sir Topham Hatt came to see him. Gordon, you'll be making one stop today with an empty express to test our new station. You can make up time afterwards. Why can't Henry do it? He likes idling in stations. You will do as you are told. So Gordon did. But he was still unhappy, and he grew sick too. I just can't get up to speed, he moaned. It's time for your visit to the works. Your pipes are clogged, said the fireman. At last they approached the new station. Gordon was impressed, but his mood soon changed. In front of him was a blank wall and huge buffers. What a boring view. Important engines like me should have a panoramic view, where I can see people and people can see me. And he wheezed angrily. Gordon was happy, when it was time to leave. Now you can really enjoy your run as long as your pipes will let you, said his driver. Come on, come on! I can go faster than this, huffed Gordon. Sick me never. But Gordon began to feel more and more feeble. And soon he came to a complete stop. What happened? His driver and fireman inspected him. Something's broken inside you, Gordon, said his fireman. Now you really will have to go to the works. Gordon was still fuming when James arrived to collect his coaches. Well, 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 so much for knowing about everything. You got too puffed up in your boiler, so it serves you right. When Gordon returned from the works a few days later, he was still boasting. I am the finest engine on the island of Sodor. Probably the finest in the world. Come on, Gordon. We're going to the official opening of the new station. Then there was trouble. As Gordon approached the new station, neither the driver nor fireman could apply his brakes. Something had jammed. The driver reduced steam, but Gordon was still going too fast. Help me, please. Well, Gordon, said Sir Topham Hatt, I knew you wanted a panoramic view, but this is not the way to achieve it. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. When Gordon was repaired again, he took Sir Topham Hatt to the new station for its second official opening. This time he arrived safely, and everyone clapped and cheered as he pulled in. Sir Topham Hatt spoke to him. Your panoramic view is here to stay. I trust you will always see through it from the safety of your own rails. Gordon heartily agreed.
Thomas the Tank Engine has worked his branch line for many years and knows it very well. You know just where to stop, Thomas, laughed his driver. You could almost manage it without me. Thomas had become conceited. He didn't realize his driver was joking. Later, he boasted to the others. Driver says I don't need him now. Don't be so daft, snorted Percy. I'd never go without my driver, said Toby earnestly. I'd be frightened. Boasted Thomas. I'm not scared. You'd never dare. I would then. You'll see. The next morning, the firelighter came. Thomas drowsed comfortably as the warmth spread through his boiler. Percy and Toby were still asleep. Thomas suddenly remembered. Silly stick in the muds, he chuckled. I'll show them. Driver said I could manage without him. I'll just go out and then I'll stop and whee! That'll make them jump. Thomas thought he was being clever, but really he was only moving because a careless cleaner had meddled with his controls. He soon found his mistake. He tried to whoosh, but he couldn't. He tried to stop, but he couldn't. He just kept rolling along. He didn't dare look at what was coming next. There was the station master's house. The station master was about to have breakfast. Horrors, cried Thomas, and shut his eyes. The house rocked, broken glass tinkled, plaster was everywhere. Thomas had collected a bush on his travels. He peered into the room through its leaves. He couldn't speak. The station master was furious. His wife picked up her plate. "You miserable engine," she scolded. "Just look what you've done to our breakfast. Now I shall have to cook some more." She banged the door. More plaster fell. This time it fell on Thomas. Thomas felt depressed. Workmen propped up the house with strong poles and laid rails through the garden. Then the Scottish twin engines Donald and Douglas arrived. Dinna fash yourself, Thomas. We'll soon have you back on the rails. They laughed. Donald and Douglas, puffing hard, managed to haul Thomas back to safety. Bits of fencing, the bush, and a broken window frame festooned his front, which was badly twisted. The twins laughed and left him. Thomas was in disgrace. There was worse to come. "You're in a lot of trouble, Thomas." "I know, sir. I'm sorry, sir." Thomas's voice was muffled behind his bush. "You must go to the works and have your front mended. It will be a long job." "Yes, sir." "Meanwhile, a diesel rail car will do your work." A diesel, sir?" Thomas spluttered. "Yes, Thomas. Diesels always stay in their sheds till they are wanted. Diesels never gallivant off to breakfast in station masters' houses."
Toby and Henry But they do look old-fashioned and did need new paint. James was very rude whenever he saw them. Yuck! What dirty objects, he would say. At last, Toby lost patience. James, he asked, why are you red? I am a splendid engine, answered James, ready for anything. You never see my paint dirty. Oh, said Toby innocently. That's why you once needed bootlaces, to be ready, I suppose. James went redder than ever and snorted off. It was such an insult to be reminded of the time a bootlace had been used to mend a hole in his coaches. At the end of the line, James left his coaches and got ready for his next train. It was a slow freight, stopping at every station to pick up and set down cars. James hated slow freight trains. Dirty cars from dirty siding. Starting with only a few, he picked up more and more cars at each station till he had a long train. At first, the freight cars behaved well. But James bumped them so crossly that they were determined to get back at him. Presently, they approached the top of Gordon's Hill. Heavy freight trains halt here to set their brakes. James had had an accident with cars before and should have remembered this. Wait, James, wait, said the driver, but James wouldn't wait. He was too busy thinking what he would say to Toby when they next met. The freight car's chance had come. Hurrah! Hurrah! They laughed, and banging their bumpers, they pushed them down the hill. disaster lay ahead. Something sticky splashed all over James. He had run into 2 tar wagons and was black from smoke box to cab. He was more dirty than hurt. But the tar wagons and some cars were all to pieces. Toby and Percy were sent to help and came as quickly as they could. "Look here, Percy," exclaimed Toby. "Whatever is that dirty object? That's James, didn't you know?" "It's James's shape," said Toby. "But James is a splendid red engine, and you never see his paint dirty." James pretended he hadn't heard. Toby and Percy cleared away the unhurt cars and helped James home. Sir Topham Hatt met them. "Well done, Percy and Toby," he turned to James. "Fancy letting your cars run away. I am surprised. You're not fit to be seen. You must be cleaned at once. Toby shall have a new coat of paint. Please, sir, can Henrietta have one too?" said Toby. "Certainly, Toby." "Oh, thank you, sir. She will be pleased." All James could do was watch Toby as he ran off happily with the news.